DD214 Gaming Podcast is for mature audiences only. Any videos, music, or entertainment not originating from DD214 Gaming is used and covered under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, also known as fair use. Opinions expressed are our own and do not represent any DoD or U.S. government entities as a whole. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Viewer and listener discretion is advised. You are no longer alone now, because we have you.
Fucking there we go. Well, pilgrims, it's been another 168. So sit on down, load up your corncob pipe, crack a beer. Let's chew on some fucking trail dust together for a couple minutes. How about it? All right.
Good morning, good morning. Welcome to another episode 85 of the DD214 Gaming Podcast.
I love it.
We're back with Mike J from Running with Scissors, your friendly neighborhood infantryman Jay.
Hello.
And the tech guy himself. Good morning. How's everybody feeling today?
Mike, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I had my coffee, I took my morning crap, and now I'm ready to talk.
That's what I'm talking about. Is that like kind of, is that kind of, now are you a, so you're obviously a morning crapper. So do you do it before or after you drink the coffee? Do you need the coffee to kind of instigate the evacuation procedure or?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on what I ate the night before, but usually I don't wake up feeling like I got to move. I wake up feeling like I got to eat. Then I get about halfway through my coffee and I'm like, fuck.
I got to go.
So then I go, yeah.
Nice.
And how much soon after do you hit the bidet?
Just depends, man. I mean, like the classic sense of the bidet is that you use it to clean yourself afterwards, but the truth is you actually use it while you're going to help the movement. Like
really?
You spray your ass. Well, yeah. If you spray your ass, water's going to get in your ass. And if water get in your ass, it's got to come out. So it's kind of like an enema. It kind of helps move.
I have got to try this shit. I have got
to buy a cheap one, man. They're like, you can get like a $30 one on Amazon. They're amazing.
Yeah, it's like
you just attach them to the water. You can actually
dash cams for your car now. It's like they're so cheap. It's like, especially for like insurance purposes, it's like you're kind of dumb if you don't have them at this point. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Hey, tech guy, your narrator voice is back on.
Fucking damn shit.
Tech guys can't be right all the time, so
no. Typically on this show, our producers are always like half a step away from being fired in general, anyway. So that's kind of the running joke, So
yeah, that's how we operate too, right? Everybody's half out the door all the time.
And on our show, typically Jay's a quarter of a step away from being fired, but
not by us, and not by us.
Oh yeah, I just that's I'm telling you, man. Like I've been
I pushed the envelope a few times on here, so we'll see.
few.
We'll
That's
see.
okay.
Hey, Mike, I'll tell you what. Now that I'm out of officially out of the army, like I can say whatever the fuck I want now. That's the real problem. Is I have to,
Congratulations.
yeah. It was time. It was time. Yeah.
Okay.
I did. For joining as late in life as I did, making it almost 12 years, it was. I have nothing to be ashamed of. Put it that way. And nothing to be ashamed of. That like it wasn't exactly how I wanted to necessarily step away, but it was necessary, and I get to spend a lot more time with my kids and my beautiful girlfriend. And speaking of which, freaking shout out to my goddess and my queen, dude. Like she's probably listening in from Omaha, Nebraska right now. So I love you, baby. Like, so yeah, freaking.
We're listening. We're watching. Wait, no, she would be listening and watching. We would not be.
Right.
Yeah.
I also am listening and watching and participating. So.
Yeah. So yeah, man. I'm glad that you came back on. It's been fun since you last came on. One thing that I want to say that I'm very I did a lot of research. I'm very congratulations on the port. Congratulations on everything that 25 years of postal.
Yeah. Absolutely, congratulations for that. That is pretty epic, and that's like me and you go a little ways back, Mike. So I like keeping up with the old homies, and having watched this almost from the beginning, knowing that you were involved and you were a big part of it has been you just made us all really proud. Like all the hometown freaking brothers, dude. Like you've made all of us like super fucking proud, bro.
And I'm still here. I'm still in Tucson.
Still fucking here. Yeah.
And there's so many. Yeah, and
I gotta ask, are you ever gonna move away from Tucson? I gotta ask.
I don't know, man. Me and the wife have talked about it so many times, and it's like we can, but I don't want to have to come back here so much. Like my brother had kids, and my parents are older, and she's got a big family around here. I mean, it's possible that we move to like Phoenix or Scottsdale or something just to be, a short drive away, but I don't think so. But as much as we'd like to live in San Diego, or it's just probably not going to happen on a permanent basis. She is changing her job right now, so it is possible that we will be able to travel more for longer periods of time, right? Like kind of my whole goal for years has been to like go live in a town for a few months, right? Like go live in Playa del Carmen for 3 months, because I can do that. That's the freedom that we have as a remote studio. She hasn't had that freedom because she's kind of been a 9-to-5er, but she's switching industries right now. So that might be possible next year.
Cool. Absolutely. That's
that's a big life step too.
Yeah. Well, I was just going to say our mutual friend, me and Mike's mutual friend and former guest here on the show, Pablo Martinez.
Pablo.
He did 2 years separately apart from each other, but he did a one year each teaching English in Spain. So he did basically what you're talking about for a year, 2 separate times. As I think it was in his 20s, and that would be. Not gonna lie to you, that sounds pretty fucking dope. Like that'd be that's the dream, right? Just to travel and see things and drink and know things, right? Like,
well, and this might get a little morbid, but there's been another issue. We have a dog, and it's kind of hard to do that when you have an animal. But my dog was recently diagnosed with lymphoma, so it's not good news at all, and it sucks. And he's going to go through chemo, but lymphoma is terminal, and dogs they don't live longer than a year. So in a year, we might not even have that tied down to be, and it's fucked up to say, but it's just kind of the way it is,
Sure.
Yeah.
Goddamn, bro. I'm sorry to hear that, man.
Anyway, to not talk about morbid things. Yes, it is the postal 25th anniversary. I've been involved for about 21 years now. It's pretty crazy that this product is actually older than some of the female friends I have. And it's old enough to drink. It's old enough to rent a car without paying extra fees. We've lasted longer than some other significantly larger products, larger studios. We're still indie as hell, and that's cool. We love living in the muck, but it would be cool to sell out for once. It'd be nice for this to actually make me some money instead of just enough to not have to worry about it and be able to make games.
Right.
Which is cool. We'll keep doing it. We'll keep making this garbage as long as people keep playing it. So
sure. Well, I like the fact that you know a winner when you've got one. So it's like you still have that option. Like if you need to milk the tit, metaphorically speaking, like that's what you're gonna fucking do. You know what I mean?
We have to. I mean, you see guys like Todd Howard just endlessly milking the tit, and we not that we haven't milked all the milk out of the Postal 2 tit. We would love, like, every day I get tons of emails and messages on Twitter and TikTok and everything screaming for Postal 2 to be on console, and I just can't do it. Believe me, I'd love to make that money. It's just not technically possible. So the thing that we didn't do, which is now in hindsight a little stupid, we remade Postal 1, which financially is a total fucking mistake, even though it's good and it's our first game on Switch and it's our first game on PlayStation and it's all these nice accolades, but it still has yet to make a single dollar in profit. We remade the wrong game. If we had remade Postal 2, that's actually where our money's been made. Postal 1 never was a popular game. It's still not. I mean, it's free on Steam, so people can get it for free, and it's cool, and it's historical, and it's where we came from, but it's not who we are, and it's actually a very, as compared to Postal 2, it's a darker game. It's not very, like, the control scheme is really screwed up. It's just not what people liked about us, and so when we remade it, we're like, well, if we remake it, we make it look better and run on a newer engine, people are going to like it. And it's like, that's just not fucking true. And that's okay. It was a learning experience and it was good for us to use the engine, but we really should have remade Postal 2. And that's how we started Postal 4's development. And we kind of decided after a few months that was too expensive of a venture. I can't say that was a mistake because Postal 4 has done all right and we're in a good place. But what it did do, and we decided this when we switched over to Postal 4, was when we were done with Postal 4, we would then have this massive asset base and code base that is literally all based on Postal 2 anyway. So it wouldn't be very hard to then retcon. Yeah, we'd use all, you have everything.
There you go.
Just about. I mean, you'd have to build the map. You'd have to make some custom buildings. You'd have to make a few custom characters. But for the most part, everything's there. So it is very likely in the foreseeable future that we will make the actual remake of Postal 2 so that can be on PlayStation.
That'd be fucking awesome. I also want to say, for anybody that doesn't know, I actually had the honor and privilege of attending elementary school with this fine gentleman here. He has always been this brutally honest. Okay, so if you're looking for brutal honesty, go see fucking Mike because he'll tell you exactly how the fuck it is. Because
we need that. We need more developers who are more honest about the situations and for us to understand. Because because like when I hear you, Mike, talk about this, it's an honest perspective of what's going on, and you're letting us know. So it's just like, okay, well, we're not expecting this to come out tomorrow, broken and not working. Like you guys are actually taking the time to make sure it's right, to make sure it's where it needs to be.
Well, I can't promise it won't come out broken. that is the nature of the beast in this industry, and it's fucked up. And I don't like saying that, but it's just true.
Yeah.
Well, I don't like.
As long as it's not a repeat of Cyberpunk, we'll be okay.
Yeah. I mean, we released Postal 4 in a pretty bad state, man. I can't. And I'm not talking about the early access build. That was obviously shit when we put it out. The quote 1.0 build that we put out on 420 of this year. It definitely did not impress people as to why it was leaving early access, and I had to try to explain to people that that's one of the natures of indie dev, right? Like we put it in early access to fund the game. Early access, eventually the sales trickled away. They just keep going down until eventually you release it, and then you get a big windfall of sales. So we needed to do that so we could finish the game, and it means that our 1.0 tag is tainted, and it means that our media reviews are just trash, which they probably would have been if the game was perfect. So I'm not overly worried about that, but it did tank our Steam score because then all of a sudden you got tens of thousands of people that are playing this game, assuming it's in 1.0 status. They open it up and they're like, this isn't fucking optimized. There's bugs everywhere. My game's crashing. And it's like, yes, we know. Read the patch notes. We know the game is not in a good state. We just needed it to come out of early access. And that's not, I can't say it's a great way to do business, but it's what we had to do. And we're known for 20 plus years now of fixing our crap. And we have literally spent the last 6 months plus since release, and it is in a better state right now. And we have a console porting team working on it to optimize the shit out of it, because that's really all console porting is taking a relatively unoptimized PC build and cranking everything down to fit into these much smaller memory systems. So the game runs not on a toaster right now, but it essentially runs on a significantly crappier computer. So,
Right.
Pedro Santos, is this one of your partners?
Yeah, he's our social media manager. He does the podcast with us, and he's
yes, he's the other guy with the mustache.
Yes, the Rami Malek looking motherfucker.
Tell us, Mike. I was just going to say, tell us a little bit about your podcast and what you've been doing with that, and like how that's been going. Since you've graced us with your presence twice. This is twice now, and I cannot again thank you enough for taking the time out of your early Sunday mornings. Twice now. To come be with us.
Oh yeah, I forgot. It's like nearly noon over here.
Tell us. Yeah, it's 9:15.
Tell us how things are going with your podcast and what you're doing, and kind of what the foreseeable future kind of holds in those waters for you.
Yeah, it's funny. We've been doing it for years now. I think I started in either 2015 or 2016, but we have less episodes than you guys. That's how consistent we are.
Right.
We try to stay consistent, and then it falls apart because there's just a lot of moving parts, and it's not what I would call our main
focus
avenue of talking to people. But I do love doing it. It's just, I produce it and put it on. Pedro helps out, and then we just sort of shit out episodes when we have time. I mean, we're trying to do it every 2 weeks now. It's called the I Regret Nothing podcast. If you just look up I Regret Nothing podcast on any of your favorite podcasting app or on YouTube, you can find it. We do the show live. Unfortunately, we don't do that on a schedule, so there's no way to just know when to tune in to watch us bullshit. So it's probably best to just find the audio version of it. You can listen to us rant and rave about games and crap. Sometimes Star Wars and other shit, just bullshitting about our products. But yeah, I Regret Nothing podcast. I wish I had more time to do it. I really love doing things like this, so I just wish I didn't produce my own podcast. It kind of makes it a little bit more of it.
I have a question about your podcast. Has
Sure.
Pedro started watching Andor yet?
Motherfucker, I don't know. I think he watched 3 episodes, and I told him he has to watch all 12 before the next episode, because the 12th one comes out on Tuesday night. So it's going to be ready to go, and it's the best piece of Star Wars media I've ever seen. So
is that real? Like, you're talking all movies, all fucking side thingies, like
yeah. Well, let me put it to you this way: while I really love all Star Wars media,
okay,
I don't love it all equally. And while I think movies like Empire are phenomenal films, they are not at the caliber that this show is. This show is definitely the best written, the best directed, the best cinematography, the best casted. I think everything about it is just so perfect, right? Like, there are a million things in just about every Star Wars project where you could say, well, that kind of sucked. Well, we can excuse this because it's space fantasy. This show is perfect on all fucking cylinders. I mean, there's no Jedi, there's no Force powers, but that's just a product of what this particular story is, right? This is a political spy thriller.
I haven't touched it yet, so like now you're enticing me with your.
It is unapologetically. It is absolutely unapologetically the best piece of Star Wars media ever. Full stop. And that's. I don't mean that there isn't amazing things in Star Wars, but nothing has even come close to what this does for character development. Clone Wars is probably the closest thing, and that's because there's 120 fucking episodes. So you closely learn who Ahsoka and Anakin and Obi-Wan are, but it's an animated series, and most of the episodes really are geared towards kids, except the ones that are not. And this show is 100% not going to be enjoyed by Star Wars kids at all. It is very slow. It is very methodical. It's very talky. The action is very few and far between, which means it's amazing when you see it. There is no throwaway action in the show. When the action happens, it is fucking in your face. People die that you have come to love because you just spent hours on end learning about them, and then the show doesn't focus on it. Like, they're just dead. It's move on, next scene. You don't know. Like, you're kind of like, what the fuck just happened?
I like that though.
Sounds like the Army. That sounds like the Army.
I mean, I would definitely say
that's how the fight scenes are.
Andor has been a phenomenal show if you actually sit down and give it the time of day.
Hey, Squillini, put that up.
This is my goddess. Jay's the only dumb fuck in the world who hasn't seen Star Wars. Thank you, baby. Love you. It's me. I did it.
But this is the best part of Andor, I think, is that while I don't think it's good for Star Wars kids, I think it is actually the first Star Wars product that is easily consumable by non-Star Wars fans. It doesn't require you to have any prior knowledge. There's literally basically no fantasy in this at all. I mean, there's space travel and there's some space weapons and all, but for the most part, it is all very, very grounded sci-fi, and you don't have to have any preconceived notions of what Star Wars is prior to watching. So, watch it.
Yeah, I
think I'm gonna get a watch party going with my with the love of my life there, and freaking like
the 12th episode, the last episode of the season comes out on Tuesday night. So
I'm a huge Rogue One fan. So I already knew, like, when they announced Andor, I was like, okay, this is good, and there's gonna be a second season for it too. It's just like, okay, well, they're actually working very hard to do this right, and it's cool. It's cool. I
mean, and you know, not only when they announced Andor, when they announced Diego Luna was coming back as Andor, and then Forrest Whitaker coming back
as Saw Gerrera,
as Saw Gerrera. Like, they're playing the cards right, and they're not recasting certain things. They're keeping things the way they need to, and the cast has just been a phenomenal cast.
Yeah, like I will say that every time I watch an episode, it blows me away that this got financed. Like, I'm like, this is not Disney Star Wars at all, and I'm very surprised that after Rogue One came out, which a lot of people do consider it one of the better Star Wars films, it is hotly debatable.
Chris Bodette said that. Remember, Jay?
Yeah, he did.
And the fact that Disney gave this guy what I would consider unlimited time. I mean, this is definitely the longest piece of single season Star Wars media there is. 12 episodes that are all around 45 minutes to an hour. Just, it's crazy to me. I mean, there's no filming on the digital thing they do for all the other shows. It's all filmed on locations in Europe. The shots are, I mean, it's a beautiful show, and the special effects are at what I would consider a bare minimum for a Star Wars show, because there just isn't a lot of special effects. There's practical effects, but
there's a lot of good shows right now. Like I just closed up a couple of them this week. Like Handmaid's Tale just ended. I just jumped into The Man in the High Castle, which is completely fucking crazy to me.
Have you watched The Peripheral yet?
I have not watched. I have that. I saw that one. I just started last night at 3:00 in the morning. 1899.
Nice.
That's by the people that made Dark, right?
Yeah, they made Dark. I watched it was like 3:00 in the morning.
Dark. Dude, Dark is my all-time favorite TV show, like, ever at this point. Like, it holds the #1 spot.
So crazy, dude. So crazy.
Perfect.
Like,
that was the way you're describing Andor in the Star Wars universe. That was probably, like, for me personally, like, that was Dark. The pinnacle. Yeah. That was the pinnacle of TV right there. That was like 3 seasons. You know, long enough. It was basically a long fucking movie. You know,
satisfying ending.
Like satisfying. Like, all loose ends fucking get tied up. You know, this wasn't fucking lost. This wasn't lost like jerking you off for fucking like 6 seasons. You know what I mean? Everything came.
And they didn't hold your hand. They didn't hold your hand at all.
Like, no.
And incest.
Lots of incest. Lots of it. I mean, if we didn't get enough of it in Game of Thrones, we just got to watch Dark.
Jesus
big spoiler, guys. Sorry, but yeah, my wife just.
But you don't know it's incest at first.
My wife just texted me. My wife just texted me. I guess she just heard this. She's just said, "Oh no."
Oh, let me guess. The Green Ranger.
I thought you were
Wait.
going to say spoiler alert. Your wife is your sister, but you didn't say that. So
Yeah, the Green Ranger fucking died or some shit. Like it's circulating right now.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Jason David Frank or whatever his name is, or whatever the hell his name is. James David Frank, the Green Ranger, the guy who
Hold
played
on.
the Green Ranger and the White
Jason
Ranger.
David Frank. Yeah, it's rumored. I see that.
Yeah,
It-
he freaking.
Oh
he
shit!
freaking. There were a bunch of people on Reddit this morning denying it and saying like, because apparently this rumor has circulated before, but
It circulated a few times, yeah, and it just
Yeah, but this
circulated with
one-
Jimmy Fallon a couple days ago too.
Yeah, well, this one appears to be have a little bit more weight to it because it hasn't been like nobody's taking the shit down. Like his Wikipedia got changed and nobody's taking it down. Like
Yeah, Rep confirms Power
By
Ranger Jason
suicide.
David Frank. Holy
yeah, Green Ranger, freaking rest in peace. Like there you go. I thought that's what your
I don't know
old lady was talking about.
how many times you
No.
can fake die before you really die. That's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, well,
this is true because it's happened a number of times. It's
Well, I don't know about Mike, but like I kind of missed the Power Rangers because we were just a little bit too old at the time when they came out, and like
Yeah.
like my younger sister and I would say Mike's younger brother would have been at the perfect age for it actually, because
Yeah, and my brother did watch it, but not religiously, so it's not
yeah.
like I was sitting there over his shoulder glancing at that.
Right, but I definitely remember when it came out, and and that's like there's a little like micro generation within millennials that are very very fond of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I remember when it came out, I was mad because I thought it was a ripoff of Voltron. I remembered Voltron from when I was a kid, and like I thought it was a ripoff of Voltron, so I didn't like it. I didn't like it at the beginning. Anyways, but it obviously had massive cultural impact. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like,
I actually just recently in one of my episodes of my other podcast, The Artificial Mind, where we tap into the human mind and artificial intelligence. I actually did a photo of the Power Rangers mixed up with Saturday Night Fever, which turned out to be a fucking hit right now. And I'm actually kind of shocked. I mean, that Jason David Frank, I mean, he wasn't my favorite Power Ranger. My favorite one was Billy, but you know, rest in peace, man.
You freaking Captain America puss, dude. Like,
Billy was the tech guy. He was the best one.
Hey man, I'm not saying Billy was a bad guy. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like
So
for a guy that was never into the Power Rangers, I kind of like the idea of like the bad guy coming in and then like eventually like taking over and becoming like the good guy, right? You know, and eventually like just taking the whole thing over, which is what a bad guy would do in the first place. You know, so it's like go Green Ranger, go. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. Like,
Man, there's a lot of morbid today.
So yeah, I'm scrolling through
what is it
a
saying?
few Power Ranger fan pages, and other Rangers like Walter Emmanuel Jones, who played the original Black Ranger, David Yost, Austin St. John, the original Blue and Red Rangers. They've all posted, can't believe it, rest in peace, Jason David Frank.
So
Apparently it was suicide.
God,
But if
fucking
other Rangers from that same era are posting about it, it's confirmed and real.
And they were doing the reunion too.
So he wasn't going to be part of it. After his last cameo, he actually had said he was done with the Power Rangers franchise as far as starring in episodes going forward, because he felt like he had done his part in that franchise and there was nothing further for him there. They're saying, you know, he was going through a rough divorce back in 2021 last year. His stepdaughter also took her own life. So he's just a lot of stuff going on, and this is what happens. I mean,
A lot of pressure, yeah.
it's the sad truth, and you know that's why we always preach. If you need somebody to talk to, we're here, guys. We're here. There's, you know, numbers for people to call. The National Suicide Hotline. You know, there's avenues. Please try to talk to somebody before doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's flip this around. So on your website you have the Steam keys for your games. Is it better to buy the Steam keys from the keys from your website than getting it from console or getting it from Steam itself?
Well, if you buy it from Steam, we get essentially 70% after taxes and VAT and returns and all that jazz. If you buy it from my site, we get basically 97% because we don't lose any fees to anybody. I mean, fees are the way of the world. We're very happy Steam is there. Obviously, there is no amount of units I can sell on my website that would even pay the bills for 1 month. So without Steam, they can take their cut because we've only sold 4 million units of Postal 2 on Steam since 2012 because there are so many people looking at it all the time. But if I was giving somebody advice on how to help us out the best, clearly buying keys from us directly will help us out a little bit more. I mean, we don't charge very much for keys. I mean, other than Postal 4 and Brain Damaged at full price, the rest of the games are always on sale for stupid prices.
$2. I see $2 here,
Exactly.
$2. Yeah. And that's actually, I mean, that's very incentive. Even if I didn't know what Postal was, if I saw a $2 game, I mean, why fucking not?
Exactly. I mean, whenever I get somebody emailing me and saying, when are you guys going back on sale on Steam? And I'm like, I don't know, but I mean, we go on sale every fucking 6 weeks. But just buy it from us right now. You can get the key from my website, and you can get all of them for under $10. So just go buy it now.
That's pretty cool. So you had John St. John for this one, right? As the Postal dude?
We did. I mean, we've kind of had a funny history with different people starring as the Postal dude, and it's not intentional. Rick Hunter is the OG Postal dude. He's a local Tucson guy that is all over the radio, and you might hear him in other cities too. He's actually the national voice actor for iHeartMedia, which was formerly Clear Channel. So you'll hear Rick Hunter on all kinds of commercials. If you're a Postal fan, you've heard the Postal dude all over your life just because. When we were working on Postal 3, Rick Hunter kind of disappeared. We had no way to contact him, so we found another local radio host here that had a very similar voice. His name was Corey Cruz. He did a great job in what was considered one of the worst games of all time. And then when we started work on Postal 4, Rick was back sort of at that point in time. He had done Postal Redux for us. He had done Paradise Lost. And then we had him start recording for Postal 4, and he disappeared again. So I was then put into a place where I could either ask Corey to do it, which Corey's a good friend of mine. I played hockey with him. And he did a really good job, but I didn't want to taint what we were doing with the stink of Postal 3. And it wasn't his fault. It was just a design decision that we needed to go a different route. And the obvious answer was, let's see how the guy that voiced Duke Nukem would do it. And so we contacted John, and he was totally down to do it. And we did some voice tests, and we thought what he did with his natural voice was best. Like, he tried to do sort of a Rick Hunter impression, a radio voice guy. And while it wasn't bad, it just sounded like somebody else doing a radio voice. And John St. John's natural voice kind of has that like nasally, raspy, sort of almost white trash sound to it, which we thought was really good for the Postal dude. And obviously it was hotly debated when the game came out because it wasn't like Corey Cruz was at least similar to Rick Hunter's voice. They have very similar voices. John's was like way out in left field.
Way different.
And it took us a while to get acclimated to it as well. So when we put out the game, we were like, you guys need to bear with it because it will grow on you. And it has grown on me so much that even when we got Rick Hunter back, and right now, if you play Postal 4, you have a choice of John St. John, Rick Hunter, Corey Cruz, and we even got Zach Ward from the movie. So you can pick your voice of the Postal dude in Postal 4 from all 4 voice actors. Even though I like all of their voices, that Postal 4 voice that John St. John did to me, like, it's so ingrained in my brain that everything else just sounds phony at this point. So John did a great job. Rick did a great job. Corey did a great job. Zach did a great job. And yes, I give free mustache rides. So
Mike pays attention. Mike pays attention too.
I do. Of course I do.
Oh man, so that's pretty cool. I mean, growing up, I played Duke Nukem as a kid. So learning that learning that was actually really cool, and just knowing that he was so like welcoming about it was just like, yeah, let's fucking do it. You know, that must have been a big like moral like high for you guys too, to have someone of that caliber
Well, and
agree
when
to
we
something like
announced
this.
it, it was kind of nobody believed it because John St. John is a very outspoken liberal guy
Yes,
on
he
Twitter,
is.
and I mean personally, I'm not as vocal as him, but I fall into the same category. But like it really blew people away that he would even
There
be
it is.
involved with us. They were like, we can't believe this hyper liberal guy would be involved with Postal 4. So I kind of like had to jump in and be like, hey guys, we're here. Like just because we want socialized medicine and better roads doesn't mean that we don't like ultra funny, hyper violent video games. And you know, we have like our fan community is pretty split down the middle. We've got lots of furry fans, we've got lots of trans fans, like everybody plays Postal. It's not just played by alt-right school shooters. I mean, that's kind of like the stereotypical thing that people would say is that your game's for incels, and it might be. There might be a lot of incels that play my game. I don't know. I mean, I don't think people are writing me telling me like I love Postal because no women will have sex with me. That doesn't happen. But
I
I'm
don't have
sure
a
they're playing
demographic for
Postal.
that stuff. It's yeah.
Right. And look, man, I'm also Jewish, and I'm 1,000% positive there's anti-Semitic people playing my game. That's just, I mean, I can't stop them from playing my game, and I thank them for their business. So, you know, do I like what they believe? No, but
well, I was gonna say too, like I think that's one of the things in our country that is most like massively like one of the biggest myths in our country is that people on the left like don't also own guns. You know what I mean?
Of course, I own guns. I own guns. I don't really go
it's
shooting,
like
but I own
it's
guns.
it's like I love it. Like it's like I don't know where the presupposition, you know, got divided down the line that like if you vote a certain way in politics, all of a sudden you're not American, and it's like on either side, and it's kind of like, yeah, dude, like just because I hold certain beliefs, you know, doesn't mean I'm not still fucking like American. You know what I mean? Like,
No.
Yeah.
I mean, but there's also people that hate guns on both sides as well, too, right?
Right,
Like,
yeah.
you can be a conservative and super pro Second Amendment and still not want a fucking gun in your house because, you know, like any other statistic, if you have a gun in your house, you're
It's
like significantly higher statistic that someone's going to get shot in your house.
That's correct.
I mean, that's literally that makes perfect sense, right? Yeah, of course. And I own guns. I don't really go shooting that often. I mean, we sell shot metal signs on our website of our logo, and sometimes I go.
I was going to ask about that too. I was going to ask about that too because I see that I'm actually looking at it right now. So it obviously it's like a snowflake. You two are never going to be the exact same thing. You're not going to shoot exactly the same.
That's not true. I do line up about 5 or 6 of them and tape them together.
Okay.
Because shooting individual ones is really not cost effective or time effective, because when we shoot like 100, 150 of them at a time, and it's fucking hot out. And so we want to like make sure we get as much value for the buck as possible. But even when you put 7 or 8 rounds through a stuck together signs, they're all different. So it's
it's definitely because I saw it the other night, and I think this is probably one of the coolest merch ideas I've ever seen anyone do. It's actually shot by you guys, which I think, I mean, you can't get any better than that, you know, touched by you guys and stuff like that. So that, to me, that's my favorite piece of merch that you guys have, along with the mouse pad real feel ball sack.
They are very ergonomic, man. It does feel great on my wrist. When I'm at a desk that doesn't have one,
Do you want to see it, Jay?
I could use some balls. I could use some balls on my wrist right now.
Got you.
Oh yeah, the crotchy mouse pads are super popular. I've sold a lot of them this week, actually, since the 25th sale, and since we put the Postal Dude doll on sale this week. I've sold a lot of mouse pads for some reason. I don't know what the direct relation is between the Postal Dude doll and the mouse pad, but yeah, that's the crotchy real fill mouse pad. You know, they're
fucking amazing,
and it's only $15.
Yeah, they're great. You know, those were designed to be boobs. Usually they're like anime chicks. that are on those mouse pads, but we decided to put balls on them. Yeah, of course. That's just the way it is.
Dude, I'm so proud. I am so proud of our little fucking all the little fucking shits that we used to run around with, Mike. Like we made it, dude. Like none of us have sold out yet. Not yet.
But I'll do it tomorrow. If there's anyone listening that wants to buy Running with Scissors for $50 million, please hit me up, and I will go live on an island. I don't give a shit. I love doing this, but I'm ready to retire. So
I fucking love you so much, dude. Like, haven't fucking changed a bit, dude. I fucking love it, dude.
I will tell you though, with the signs that we sell, you know, we do get some pretty avid gun nuts that write me and they want to know exactly what guns and what caliber we're shooting. And they want me to write on the back of the sign which hole is which caliber. And I'm like, we're going to play a little game. I'm going to ship you the sign and you can guess what caliber shot the sign.
If they're worth their salt, they would already know very closely what caliber is what anyways. Like if you, that's not a hard guessing game to fucking play if you
but you know, these people and I appreciate it, right? Like they order something and then they email me or they write me on Discord and they're like, hey man, I just bought a sign. I was wondering if you could take video of you shooting it. And I'm like, unfortunately, my friend, I don't have a shooting range in the office. I am not shooting these on demand, and that would be crazy if I was doing that. These are shot in bulk at a certain point in time. Most of the time I'm involved. Sometimes I'm not. I have a good friend that does them for me now, and I go out with him sometimes, but I don't really have all the time in the world. And the fact that I'm actually shipping your sign is stupid because I have much more important things to do, but I also manage the web store, so I do all the orders. And that has been mind-numbing the last week because we got these talking postal dude plushies in from China. And I mean, we've been selling plushie dolls for a while. We've been selling crotchy dolls for over 10 years, and they've always done well, and we've had to order more. But at no point have I ever sold out of my shipment of dolls. I mean, we haven't quite sold out yet, but they will be sold out by the middle of the week. Yeah, that's the Crotchy and Cunny doll. Crotchy's the classic character. Cunny is the female counterpart for Crotchy. My wife actually voices the Cunny doll, so I have to
really.
Yes. My wife is Cunny. Getting her in the studio is fun. She has a very good voice, and she is very funny. But the second the microphone turns on, she doesn't know what to do. So I had to coach a performance out of her. But she did a really good job.
I also love here that you could actually order stickers and shit too to add into your box. Kind of like $2 and stuff like that. A pop-up.
What's the postal guy's fucking doll look like? What's that one look like?
Right up there, right on the top. Yeah, there it is. There's a dog. There's the postal dude and his dog Champ. Also, the Champ one doesn't talk though. I wasn't going to spend the extra money to just have the doll bark.
Oh, you got a whole bundle here. Holy shit!
Yeah, you can get all four.
$60 for the whole pack.
Yeah, I mean, we've actually, oddly enough, had a bunch of people being like, I can't believe these are only $20. And it's like, well, they're made in China. They're not made by American hands here. They don't cost me a ton to make. So I don't want to charge, 100 times profit. I want people to own these things.
Imagine you used to teach your kids about the birds and the bees.
You have to, that's...
I mean, so who comes up with the ideas? Because I saw the jerseys. And I remember last time you were a hockey fan, so I know that was your idea. And the hockey jerseys look nice.
We didn't design the jerseys for sale. We just designed them for a team I was on, and then we figured, these are kind of one-offs anyway. I don't stock them. I have a friend that orders them individually every time somebody buys one, and then it takes 6 to 8 weeks to get from Pakistan. But, we have those. I haven't put them up for sale yet, but I have a bowling team. So I have bowling jerseys that we wear too. It's just, they're not the easiest things to get. So, and I wouldn't say they're ultra commonly ordered either. I mean, maybe 2 or 3 a month, but it's still pretty cool that people are walking around.
Mike, what are your hobbies like lately? Are you still playing hockey, or are you focusing more on bowling, or what do you do to keep up on the physical fitness?
Both.
What do you do? Tell me
do both.
about it.
I bowl on Monday nights. I bowl in a league. I actually threw my first 300
Hell yeah.
last year. So I threw my first perfect game. Thank you. It only took 40 years, but I did do it. I play hockey a couple times a week. I play roller hockey and I play ice hockey when we have ice hockey in town, which is only during the winter. This season, I kind of missed most of the season because my appendix burst about 2 months ago when I got back from Denmark. So I was kind of on the shelf for a while, but I'm back. As of last week, I'm back playing hockey 2 or 3 days a week. I referee hockey as well. I referee the ice hockey leagues out here. And then for working out, I have a tonal in my house. I'm not sure if you're familiar with what a tonal is, but I've been actually
looking into the tonal.
I will absolutely tell you that it is worth every fucking penny. It is the best purchase I have ever made. I mean, really, it is an amazing workout machine that just doesn't take up a lot of room. It's like a little TV on your wall, but it has 2 big adjustable arms that can do about 100 pounds of magnetic weight per arm. I mean, really, it is fucking phenomenal. And it takes up no space in your house. I mean, it's a full multifunction fitness device that just sits on your wall in a little like 2 foot by 5 foot frame. I mean, it's ridiculous. So that's what I do for working out.
Shit. Cool. So it pretty much does everything that you need it to without even having. That's fucking great. And you only got to pay for a gym subscription. Is there a subscription that comes with Tonal?
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to use it, but the subscription is worthwhile because there are tons of classes and a lot of cool coaches. Like Tony Horton is a coach on there. I don't know if you're familiar with the guy who used to do P90X.
Yeah.
He's hilarious. And you can do all the movements without the coach, without the subscription. But then you got to write your own workouts. And it is kind of cool to not have to think about it, right? Like you just go on, click a workout, and then it tells you what movements to do. You move the arms up and down, and then you just spend 20 to 40 minutes doing a workout, and then you're done. So
well, shit, that's why
I don't make
personal
any money.
Trainers.
I don't make any money on this. I'm just telling you, it's fucking dumb.
Yeah, and that's kind of like right now, I've started using Apple Fitness Plus for my home workouts because just convenience. I don't know.
I did that. I was doing
that. And then with my TVs, I can just do the workouts for my TV and it gives you.
I did that right when I got my tonal. I was like, you know what? I need to do the Apple Fitness for the plyometric stuff. And I mean, it's super cheap, but I ended up canceling it because I stopped doing those classes because I was just too busy doing tonal classes. I also have a Peloton treadmill, so I walk on the treadmill too at home, but I don't pay for that membership. I don't need coaches telling me how to run. I'm just gonna walk uphill.
Yeah, with Peloton, my girlfriend, her dad actually works for them.
Oh, nice.
So we could get, if we wanted to get a Peloton bike or treadmill and the subscription, we can get the subscription for free and like $600 off the actual equipment.
Yep. I mean, they're worth it. I had a Peloton bike for a couple of years and I rode the shit out of that thing, but I kind of got sick and tired of sitting while doing cardio. Like I started getting that problem where like your testicles were numb from sitting down on the bike. So I was like, I don't think I should be doing this anymore. I mean, I want to get a vasectomy. I actually had a vasectomy scheduled 2 weeks ago, but I canceled it because of my appendix. But I don't want my bike to cut off my nuts, you know?
Well, at least you got 2 of them, right?
You could always just, use the crotchy mouse pad and have that there for support for your nuts when you're on the bike.
Yeah, just get my little, well, I put that in my shorts. So it's like just wrapped around my nuts very gently.
Oh, shit, man. So now, how did you guys get on Dreamcast? Was it just the release of the code?
Yeah, there was a guy that contacted us a few years ago that just said, hey, I do Dreamcast ports. I'd love to port Postal 1 to Dreamcast, and then I'll just put the code up for free. And we're like, great, man, go for it. Have fun. And so he spent a bunch of time on it. Then he hit us up near the end and was like, hey, just so you know, there's this publisher that's publishing physical copies of Dreamcast ports called Wave Game Studios. And so they hit us up and we were like, that sounds awesome. So they published it. They actually paid us for it, which is very rare. Like they paid us in advance for how many units they were going to make. I mean, we're not talking about earth-shattering money here,
Yeah.
but they did pay us some money, and they sent us free copies. And I don't have a Dreamcast, and I don't particularly have any desire to ever play Postal 1 again because I just played it too much for too long. But it is cool that it's out there. So, you know, we have a Switch game, we have a PlayStation game, and we have a Dreamcast game. We still don't have a fucking Xbox game, and that's not our fault. But
well, at least you don't have to worry about the Stadia.
Well, actually, they hit us up when I was at
no
PAX.
shit.
I was at PAX East right before shutdown in 2020. We had a booth, and we got approached by Google, and they were like, "Hey, can you put this game on Stadia?" And we were like, "We're kind of working on early access right now. Maybe later on, when we're farther along in development, it's something we can talk about." And then, of course, we all know where that went. So I'm glad we didn't spend any time getting Postal 4 working on that garbage console that went away. But we are on GeForce Now. So GeForce Now is a similar service, right? Like it allows you to stream games onto a computer that can't play games for shit. So
like fucking potatoes. And it just shows that even you're watching. If you're watching this show, you probably have a potato computer watching this in 360p on probably on 3:4 aspect ratio. But
that's right.
It works.
1989 CRT monitor.
Are you playing games? Are you playing games on a pregnancy test? Little ports of doom.
There you go. Or a fucking Tamagotchi screen. Because and it's interesting too because like I find this so interesting because there's still a group of people that still play these retro consoles religiously.
Yep. It is crazy.
I didn't even know I didn't even know that there were still working Dreamcasts still around.
I know.
And the fact that someone liked the game enough to be like, let's bring this to Dreamcast. Let's just fucking do it. You know.
Yeah.
And
it's weird. It's weird. Because I didn't personally own a Dreamcast, but I was living in the dorms at U of A, and I remember my roommate was like, "Hey, this new game console is coming out. Do you want to go to the launch party with me?" And I was like, "Sure." So we like went to the mall here and went to the launch party for the Dreamcast. So I essentially had one in my dorm room for the next year, and like it's such an old stupid memory of mine that 21 years later my game came out for that system. So it's kind of odd. It's just weird.
It's cool. Pedro says this year has just been crazy for Postal fans. So much stuff. Do you guys have anything special happening? Anything that? No, it's just.
I mean, it's all kind of happened for the most part, right? Like Postal 4 left early access. Postal Brain Damage came out this year. The Dreamcast came out. The physical editions of Switch and PlayStation were just shipped by Limited Run Games. So I just got this box of physical copies of Switch and PlayStation games of Postal Redux. So it's kind of all been this like whirlwind of shit leading into the 25th anniversary, which was last week. It was November 14th. And so we're just going to carry through the year. You know, we're hyper focused on getting Postal 4 into a finished state. The console port is currently almost nearing completion. I mean, we're supposed to be submitting it for early certification sometime next month. Assuming everything goes well with that and the completion run up, it should be out sometime in the first quarter for PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. And they will be separate builds of the game. You know, it's not going to be a PlayStation 4 game that works on PlayStation 5. There will be a dumbed down version of the game for PlayStation 4, and there will be a fully functioning game for PlayStation 5 that actually has PlayStation 5 exclusive features, such as when you pee, the light on the PlayStation controller turns yellow. And when you're on fire, it'll sort of like flash orange. And when the police are chasing you, it'll switch from red to blue. You know, these kinds of things that the PlayStation does exclusive, PlayStation 5 does exclusively. So we definitely wanted to lean into that crap because Sony really likes it when you do exclusive features. There you go. That is the main feature of Postal 4 on PlayStation, is that the controller changes to yellow while peeing.
I'm sorry. I'm not a PlayStation guy, but that alone would entice me to be like, you know what? This is actually pretty fucking cool. You know, because you can't get that on an Xbox, you can't get that on a on one of these things, you know. And
well, you could theoretically, we could build in the SDK for the RGB coloring schemes for computers and have those features work, but it's just not something that we've done. What we have done is that feature for the PlayStation 5 controller will work on the PC version of the game. So if you're a controller user and you use a PlayStation 5 controller for your PC games, those features will work for the PC.
I was actually just about to ask, did you build that SDK into the PC game for if you use a PS5 controller? Because, obviously you can use the PlayStation controllers with PCs, so...
Right. If you are a masochist and you like using console controllers for first-person gaming, you will be able to see the yellow piss on the PlayStation 5 controller.
I only use so I'm a semi-masochist with that. I only use a console controller for story-based games.
Yep. Third-person
when I'm
shooters.
playing,
I do like them. I like them for third-person shooters.
But when I'm playing a lot of the, FPS games or battle royales, I'm mouse and keyboard.
No, yeah, all the way. I mean, I like the games I've played mostly the last 5 years are third-person action-adventure games like Death Stranding. We talk about that. Watch Dogs 2, Watch Dogs Legion, Red Dead Redemption, GTA, obviously. And I think those games actually thrive by using a controller. And maybe it's because I'm a terrible a terrible gamer, and I like using auto aim features, and I think they work really well. I think they work really well with those games.
I'm just starting to get myself into KBAM now. I think probably right now the only game I play on KBAM is Grand Theft Auto and the Wild RP servers. I'm sure you've seen what's going on in those things, and we actually it's actually kind of funny when the guy that I work on the one server with, he kind of looks like the Postal dude with the red hair and shit like that.
Sounds like a good-looking man.
Yeah. So there was the movie back in the day. I think you guys didn't have much to do with it. If the idea ever came back, would you be interested in working on a rebooted movie for Postal?
Yeah, and it's been an ongoing topic ever since. Yeah, the movie came out. Jesus, was it 2008? 2008 maybe?
I think so.
2007, maybe 2007. We got contacted. We originally got contacted by a Uva Bowl fan site saying, "Hey, we know Uva. He's interested in doing a Postal movie." And back then, I was like, "Get the fuck out of here!" Like, I had seen Alone in the Dark. I had seen Blood Rain. I mean, I had seen the crap House of the Dead stuff that he had done, and I was like, "No way." And we just kept deleting these requests. And then we got an email from him, and we were kind of like, we make shitty games. He makes shitty movies. Maybe we should collaborate, Like, there aren't that many video game movies out there, so maybe it'll be worthwhile, even if it's terrible. And so we got in touch with him, and the early idea was that we were going to be heavily involved, and he wanted us to write a treatment of what we would like to see. So we did. And our treatment probably was the wrong movie for him. It was more along the lines of his movie Rampage or Falling Down. It was meant to be sort of a more serious black humor type of thing. And he was like, absolutely not. I'm making a slapstick comedy. And we were like, okay, whatever you want to do, it's your money. And I mean, I don't think the movie's great by any measure of success, but it is also not terrible. And it could have been much better if somebody else had edited it, but I do think it is his best work, and maybe that's because his best work is stupid, funny shit, not stuff that's supposed to be serious or has like a very hard base of what it should be, right? Like, he made all these game properties that were very big and popular and had serious overtones, so he had all these serious actors playing these roles, and he's just not a great director. And it takes a great director and a good act, and it takes a great director and a great actor many takes and many cuts to even get basic scenes right. And that's just not the type of director he is. So he would find all these big name actors with holes in their schedules, and he would have them come and last minute act in his movies, and they would literally just phone these performances in. He would say cut, and that's the end of it, right? Like, you'd see terrible scenes from Burt Reynolds and
Yep.
and all these good actors that, you know, they just, like I said, even good actors need 5 to 10 takes to make a scene good. And then it takes a good person in the editing room to take those 5 to 10 takes and find the best pieces of all the angles to make sure the scene gels. And that's just not how Uwe made movies. And I don't make movies, so I can't say I'd be good at this, but he's definitely not good at it. And I don't think he cared. I think it was all about just making films and making money. He probably did that. Even though his movies didn't make a ton of money, they cost a shitload of money. And he was taking a ton of money from German film funds. So rich Germans were investing money in film funds so that they could write it off. And then I'm pretty sure he just like wrote these movies, directed in them, acted in them, edited them. He paid himself as a grip, probably. I don't know how he made all of his money, but I'm sure he did it that way. And you got to applaud the guy because he did a lot of it. He made a fuckload of movies. And he really is a nice guy. And we had a really fun time being on set. And he wanted to make a Postal 2, and he did a Kickstarter for it, but he didn't tell us about it in advance. He kind of just one day was like, hey, I put up a Kickstarter for Postal 2. And we're like, what the fuck? And it totally failed, which is not a surprise because why would people donate? Yeah, why would people donate money to him to make that? And it really hasn't come up. I mean, I interviewed him for our podcast a couple years ago, and he's not really in film anymore, but he was interested in doing sort of like a smaller production, you know, hand cam version of Postal 2. And, you know, it's not like we had heavy discussions about it. We were like, come to us with a proposal. And then we never got a proposal. So that fell through. The guy that played the Postal dude, his name's Zach Ward. Yep. He's infamously known as Scut Farkas from A Christmas Story. Yeah. And the new Christmas Story movie just came out on Thursday night.
Is he in it?
On HBO Max. He is in it. Not all the original cast, but a bunch of the kids from the original cast are in it. And it has pretty good reviews. And, you know, he's been around in the industry for a long time. Postal was his big break. It was his potentially first major starring gig, and it kind of never came out. So he's always been a little bitter about that because he loved the character, he loved the IP, and we've sort of tinkered with various ideas over the years to have him reprise the role. Just nothing's ever really come of it. So maybe one day. He's still very interested in doing it, and he's very involved in the production side of the film industry. He's acted in a lot of things as little characters, but he's done some production and directing and producing. So it's possible one day something else will happen. I can't say it will have anything to do with Uwe Boll, and I'm sure people would prefer it that way. So, you know, we'll see. It would be nice with all these thousands of streaming services out there and all this episodic TV that's out there, that an episodic Postal show would probably be pretty cool. You know, you don't have to have an overarching storyline. It can just be like Pulp Fiction style random occurrences in paradise. You know, I mean, it could happen. We're not filmmakers either. So
yeah. So before we get into our news and things like that, I have to ask. We need a Jay and Mike story from the past. I know you guys got some fucked up ones, some crazy ones.
I'll be totally honest with you. My brain is so fucked up. I don't remember elementary. I really don't remember elementary school like at all. I don't remember a lot of high school.
A lot of my more fond elementary memories, actually, I've noticed have been fading into more like distant memory, and it's a lot harder to like retrieve them.
Yeah,
I
feel that way about high school, dude, and that's not even that long. I mean, it's 20
so
years.
It's fairly similar with me. It's like elementary. I think I have more memories of elementary than I do of middle school. Middle school, like my brain just kind of blacked out. It was just a painful fucking time. You know what I mean? Like those 2 years in middle school, my brain is like fuck both of those years. You know? Yeah. But I actually have a memory from middle school with you, Mike. I
hope I remember it. Fuck.
Well, you won some kind of a contest, and you became like principal for a day. And me and you, you know, we knew each other. We went to elementary together, but you know, we'd been going to middle school for a while. And part of being principal for a day was you got to go out to eat you got to go eat lunch off campus.
Limo lunch. It was a limo lunch.
What?
And Mike remembered me from fucking, he remembered his homeboy from fucking from our elementary school. And even though he didn't have to, he fucking put my name on the list. And like, I remember, like, I still remember that because we went to a Mexican restaurant and it was really fucking good.
La Paria Suiza. We went to La Paria Suiza.
Suiza.
I honestly, I didn't remember that until you said it. And I have no idea what I won. None. I don't know what I did.
It was either like
selling
or vice
candy.
Principal. Some kind of like one of those weird hokey like Ponzi schemes where they use like child labor to like
I remember Dubs. Dubs was the name of the principal. I told her I wanted to go to Hooters, and she was like, absolutely not. And so I was like, well, I guess we're going to Paria Suiza. Yeah, it definitely, you know what? And it probably was the child labor shit. That shit we had to sell. But I think we had a book, and it wasn't candy. It was like oddly like normal products for people's houses. It was like fucking Amway. We were selling products for people's houses,
and it was publicly
kids sell like fucking Sensi shit and stuff.
It was like, and it was publicly funded by the taxpayer to fucking at a goddamn
100%. And you know how they paid us? Nobody got paid, and I won a limo lunch. That's it.
Yeah, because you did the best.
I guess I can't even remember or know how I sold shit when I was a kid.
Somehow you were able to scam people out of money at that age.
I guess because my dad was a doctor, and I remember I used to bring him things like that and ask if he would tell his employees to buy stuff, and he was like, absolutely not. Like, if I go into my office and tell my employees to buy things, they will. And they don't make very good money, and I can't tell them to buy anything. Like, I know other people do that. They say, hey, my daughter's doing this, buy some cookies. But all you're doing is you are literally telling your employees, you better fucking buy some cookies. Spend this money that I pay you to give my kid back money so that they can win a contest. Mm-hmm. Like, that's fucked up. That's fucked up.
I've had office jobs in my IT career where I've had guys... Daughters are in Girl Scouts. Girl Scout cookie season comes around. They're coming to the office with boxes upon boxes.
My daughter's
I'm
a Girl
thin mint
Scout
person, and I'm fat at this stage of my life. So they show up with this giant box of fucking Thin Mints. It's payday. I'm handing them $100 and buying the whole fucking box because it's and it's like
I agree.
I'm a firm believer of no. Leave that out of the fucking office.
Agreed. Like when you come out of Sam's Club during Girl Scout season, and I'm like, motherfucker, they're here. And then last year, I remember I was in my bowling league, and before the league started, we're all sitting there having a beer, and one of the bowlers comes rolling in with her kid and a fucking little Red Ryder, and they got the cookies. So, of course, we buy 8 boxes of cookies, and that's all we ate all night. And we went home feeling like shit.
Well, I kind of feel your pain because
except you're pulling fucking fatty cakes out of the fucking box there, John. I saw that shit.
John just grabs a stack of fucking Christmas tree cake. What the fuck?
Come on.
Yeah.
And they're not even that good.
They're delicious.
No. I'm not gonna lie, they're pretty delicious, but dude, John, what the fuck? Like,
now the Christmas tree cake ice cream they came out with this year is fucking amazing, though.
A fucking ice cream?
Yes. Little Debbie's released a Christmas tree cake ice cream. It's got chunks of the Christmas tree cake in it.
Okay. Sign me up.
This is like where like half of me is like in the land of like, I fucking love this shit. And the other half is like, I would just love to see society collapse. I don't know which it's like when you've got little Debbie cake.
Think about it. If we all ate like dogs do, if we all ate just like kibble that just gave us all the nutrients we needed and like the macronutrients, like we'd all be in relatively decent shape.
Correct.
We wouldn't have food cravings all the time.
Our fucking our bones would be stronger. Like,
yeah, exactly.
So
but instead we eat shit.
So are you saying that you eat kibble?
I don't, but I wish I did, because like when I buy meal prep, I feel like $1 million. Like but it's expensive, right? Like you go buy $12 to $15 meals from somebody that makes your meals, and you're eating like these like scientifically generated macronutrient meals, and you just feel good. Whereas if I'm cooking, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make some fucking pasta tonight with red sauce. And then you finish your meal and you're like, I had no nutrients in that meal. I ate carbs, but you're full.
So I've just recently started down the venture of using HelloFresh for my meals.
Yep.
And, you know, I will say I'm not a big meal prepper. I used to back in the day, and just switching from going to the grocery store, planning out fucking meals, which is a challenge sometimes because it's like, you're like, oh yeah, I want to do these meals this week. And then you get to the store and you see other shit and you're like, fuck, everything goes out the window. But what I like with HelloFresh is it's catered specifically. If you're paying for each meals for 2 people, you only have 2 servings of fucking meal.
Yeah.
Which we did that for a couple of years here. We tried all the different services and we really liked it. We made a lot of meals we never would have eaten. I'm not like the person that flips through a cookbook and I'm like, I'm going to make this tonight. But what I don't love about it, and especially in hindsight, is, I mean, they're not that expensive, but if I'm going to spend time cooking, I really like to have leftovers. And there's no fucking leftovers unless you pay for every week. You pay for meals for 4, but there's no discount for 4 versus 2. So you're paying $10 to $12 per portion per meal. So then every meal you're cooking is $40 and you're like, well, I better fucking like this. You know, the quality thing about actually meal prepping, right? You buy 5 pounds of chicken and it's, you know, $1.99 a pound, and you can make food for the whole week for $10. You buy the HelloFreshes and you're like, well, I just spent $160 on this week's meals, and I have to cook every night so that I can eat, which it is a fun exercise, but it's not really like meal prepping for your week. It's just making good meals for one meal. And I do think they are good, and I wouldn't mind getting back into it for a once a week thing or a twice a week thing. We did have a lot of fun doing them, and they are very fucking good.
Well, and that's my whole thing is I enjoy doing it because I like to try different things and different meals. And with that, you know, you go in their app once a week, you choose out what meals from the predetermined, this is the section of what we're offering this week. They send you everything, you fucking cook it when it's time to cook it. It is what it is. But like you said, I like to have leftovers. I grew up in a fucking Italian family. There were 4 of us in the household, but when mom cooked, she made food for 30 fucking people, and we had leftover lasagna or chicken parm or fucking baked ziti for 3 fucking days. So, you know, when I go to the grocery store and I actually buy my meals that way,
give me a pound, Jay.
I have those fucking, you know, that leftovers in the fridge for lunch and shit.
I'm eating fucking bacon with my beer. That's my fucking breakfast this morning.
Everyone is fucking eating except Jay.
I like heart attacks at fucking 45.
Everyone's eating except Mike. And it's funny too, because the last time this was happening, we were all drinking except Mike. And he went out and grabbed a bourbon to drink with us that last time.
That's right.
That's
right.
So
I do have this bottle of brandy right here. See that?
Oh, there.
Ooh.
God damn.
Oh shit! Yeah, there it is. Oh shit!
That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't touch it. It's more of a piece in my house, but
it was ceremonial
collectors.
So seeing as John decided to go down the alcohol talk now because we're all eating, if you like spice and you like Bloody Marys, this shit. It's a ghost pepper infused vodka.
That sounds spicy.
Shit.
I drank like 6 Bloody Marys with that shit last night.
Are you hungover?
That's heavy.
Not hungover at all.
I could actually go for a Bloody Mary, actually. But before we get to news now, I gotta ask you, Jay.
What?
How was Pussifer?
Oh, are we gonna do the Roadhouse?
Dude, it's up to you.
Oh yeah, do the Roadhouse. Pull the Roadhouse up. Let's fucking do it. I got bacon sitting in front of me.
Do you have your? Do you want us all to sit here with you in the Roadhouse?
I mean, you can. Would that make us a lot smaller?
No.
I don't know. I don't know how that works. I'm not.
We won't get the proper background from it, so we would all have to flip cameras off for it to properly go through.
Yeah.
Oh boy, here we go.
You know what? Yeah. So Jay will go through his Roadhouse, and then we'll get through this news real quick. But I have to hear about Pussifer.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Oh, that's what he was waiting for.
There it fucking is, Pilgrim. Been a few weeks since I seen you from across the bar. It's good to see you again, partner. Let's take a walk. We'll freaking catch up here. I got some freaking trail dust to spit with you. All right. Fucking A. John, did we got the logo? Did the logo disappear? What happened?
Restream's fucking with me right now.
Man, boo. Boo on that. That's okay, though. I see the background, and we're doing all right. All right. So this week, fucking the return of fucking Jay doing fucking security for concerts. I picked Pucifer. All right. They just performed at the Midland Theater in downtown Kansas City, Missouri, this last Friday night. Had a good time. If you haven't seen any of my reviews, oh, and Mike just told me, Mike's a drummer, and he just said, Mike, you can speak if you want. Like, do you know this guy, the drummer for Pucifer, Jeff Friedel?
He was on. Sorry, I put the video. He was on Drumline with me at Catalina Foothills, and he's actually a relatively famous drummer. He's the drummer for Pussifer now. He was with Devo. He did Ashes Divide.
Fucking love Devo.
He's also the Perfect Circle drummer now too. Like he plays with Maynard all the time.
I was gonna say, and he's from Tucson.
Yep. I was on Drumline with him in high school. Yeah, he used to play at the. There was a Latin club on Broadway, and he was the main house drummer for that stuff. And so yeah, it's just a Tucson success story there.
Absolutely, and and good on him. So if you haven't seen my reviews on when I do security for shows, I typically my scale is basically I judge on a few different things. I judge on the performance of the show, whether or not I actually like the music, and basically the crowd. And the biggest one out of those is the crowd. Okay, so like I will straight up judge a band for their crowd. Okay, before I worry about whether or not I like the music or whatever. Big Tool fan here, not gonna lie. I was, one of the first in line to get, Perfect Circle. The first couple albums they came out with. Okay, here's what happened. I kind of fell off in my about 25 years ago, 20 years ago, I fell off. Once the Perfect Circle's second album came out, and I would say like right after 10,000 Days, I really stopped like paying much attention to like Maynard, Tool. There was occasional news, and around this time is when he did his second side project with Pucifer. So I missed Pucifer completely. This was like a very brand new Maynard experience for me, as far as like just being there and seeing a show, basically. Okay,
the wine's good.
What's that?
Their wine is good.
Oh, Maynard's, like from his vineyards, it's very good. It's very good. I've had it several times, and yes, it is. Like I've actually been to Jerome, Arizona, like where his vineyard is. And
that's right. You reviewed it.
Yeah, well, and then he has another vineyard south of Tucson where Mike lives in Cochise County, and there's another vineyard in Cochise County. I've had that wine as well, and that's actually pretty good. So, all right, I like to end on the positives. Are you guys ready for the fucking negative?
Yes.
No shit. As like I'm going in blind to Pucifer. I've never seen them. I've heard a couple of their songs here and there, like over the years, but like just kind of missed Pucifer completely. Was so fucking not a fan of the music, dude. Was so fucking not a fan. Not a fan. Like I was like, after the first 3 songs, the fucking next 6 sounded exactly the same, and I was like, dude, it was like, you remember those like 80s fucking movies where like somebody would be like driving a car at night, and it might be like partially like a montage, but there'd be like the 80s like synth wave in the background.
Yes.
You see like driving up a hill with like, the lights of the city in the background.
Yeah, I get hard to that shit. Yeah, that's my shit right there.
That was basically what Pucifer sounded like to me. I'm not gonna lie. Not every single song, but the show was about an hour and a half, and an hour and fucking 15 minutes of it sounded exactly the same to me. And I was like, wow. I'm like, for the first time in my life, I'm kind of not upset that I missed some shit with you know, one of my former rock heroes, right? Like from back in the day. I was like kind of glad I missed Pucifer because not really super impressed. Like when me and Nikki went to Tool in fucking March, that was a whole fucking amazing spectacle of like light and sound and emotion and fury. And it was fucking like, it was just fucking tits. Make your fucking dick hard. You know what I mean? Keep that fucking pussy wet, right? Pucifer, man, like that was one of the first times I fucking almost like fell asleep on my fucking feet since the army. You know, did you guys ever do that when you're like so fucking
Oh my God,
exhausted?
yeah.
Yeah, you start like passing out, like standing up, and you gotta like fucking like, yeah.
Where'd
like,
you work?
At the Midland Theater in Kansas City.
What section?
I was on the floor. I was fucking on the floor, dude.
Oh, a GA?
Yeah.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
So I was right there. But now let me fucking flip it real quick so we can wrap up the Roadhouse for the week. Let me get into the positives because there are positives, okay? Fucking the Midland Theater was fucking packed. That is the most people I've ever seen in that theater from all the shows that I've fucking done security for there. That is as packed as I've ever seen it. Okay? The crowd, fucking, there were basically functionally zero problems. Had a couple people pass out. That was it. Like that was the extent of like, so like everybody was cool. So like Maynard brings a fucking good crowd and everybody fucking behaves. That's gonna get fucking 10 out of 10 on Jay's scale right there. You know what I mean? That was good. That was very good. And then the performance aspect, I know Maynard likes to use Pucifer as kind of like and to a certain extent Perfect Circle as his more like rock star persona to get that part of his, you know, personality out. Pucifer was not 10 out of 10. Jesus Christ, no, the fuck they weren't.
Maynard was.
No. The crowd was 10 out of 10. Like, no, Pucifer was not 10 out of 10. Jesus Christ, like, hey, this is our podcast, dude. I don't fucking suck anybody's fucking dick here, dude. Like, just because it's fucking Maynard, dude, doesn't mean a fucking thing to me. Okay, doesn't mean a fucking thing to me, dude. Like, Pucifer kind of sucks. If you want my fucking honest opinion, I'd have been fucking mad if I bought their fucking albums.
I like a Perfect Circle much better anyway.
Oh, 110 fucking percent. Pucifer fucking put me to sleep, dude. It's like, that's the shit I want to fucking like fall asleep to after I fucking like pull up fucking like Pornhub and fucking jerk off before I fucking go to bed. You know what I mean? Like, that's like, that music was just not my fucking cup of tea. Nowhere on my fucking Baskin Robbins fucking scale of fucking like what I would listen to on any given fucking day, like of my own volition. Like, that was a severe disappointment for me. The crowd was fucking amazing. And Maynard's performance, I did like the performance aspect of it. There was a lot more of a theatrical thing. He had a couple of interludes with some short videos that we showed on these big screens. There were stage actors that came out and did a couple things. I'm not going to fucking ruin any of that for anybody who actually likes Pucifer and paid money to see them. So that part was also pretty fucking like A-okay in my book. So that part's going to get probably like a 7 of 10 as far as like the performance aspect. So all told, the music fucking sucked. Okay, performance was fucking good and the audience was fucking great. Pucifer on Jay's fucking Roadhouse, believe it or not, is getting a fucking like semi fucking flaccid fucking like 6 out of 10, dude. You're getting fucking bare minimum average here. You know, 5.5, 6, you know, where it's like just big enough to do the job, but you're not getting fucking gaped out. Fucking 6 inches out of 10, dude. Like fucking top of the bell curve. That was the most mediocre fucking like disappointment of a fucking concert I've probably been to yet. Like, if Pucifer comes through Kansas City again, I'm not going to be there, like working or fucking in attendance. Like, love Maynard, love Tool, fucking Pucifer is fucking definitely like big disappointment in Jay's fucking world. Sorry. So that was Jay's Roadhouse for the week. Fucking back to you, John.
Oh man, very very interesting stuff. Very interesting stuff. I've never been the biggest Pucifer fan. You know, I will say.
Whatever.
Yeah, you know, but like I said, I've always been more into a perfect. I think a Perfect Circle is the best iteration. I love Tool.
I hope I retain my drive and thirst for life as long as Maynard has into his because he's like motherfuckers like getting, he's pushing fucking. He still has energy and he still has a lot of really good he really I don't know, just freaking. Yeah, kind of glad I missed them as a band. Like I'm really
I do like the Pussifer cover of Bohemian Rhapsody though. It is a good.
They did not play that. If they had played that, Mike, I probably would have been a little bit more on board because that would have been a really cool moment in the show.
Yeah, it's a good cover. It's on their album. You should take a listen to it. It's very
that
good.
one.
I'd check that out.
Yeah, I'd be more inclined. A lot of it was. It just
their
music
is quite boring. It almost feels like a Mike Patton project, like a weird side.
Yeah, I was gonna say like fucking very, Tomahawk or fucking
very nichey. It's different. Yeah.
Or what was his? What's the dude from Primus? Les Claypool.
Oh, yep.
Flying Frog Brigade, or like some of that shit where it's just like,
yeah.
If you're into it, it's cool. If you're into it, it's cool.
God, I haven't heard Les Claypool's name in fucking years. Holy shit.
You know, dude,
he was circulating on Reddit a few weeks ago because people were reposting the video of them playing the South Park song live with Trey Parker and Matt Stone. So it was kind of all over the place a few weeks ago.
Oh, no shit.
I saw Primus open up for Slayer fucking 3 years ago today.
I saw Primus open up for Slayer about 20 years ago.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Well, we're here in our news. We're going. So this week, I didn't tell Jay yet, but I'm going to meet up with Jay this week, and we're going to talk about the VR that kills people.
Oh yeah,
because that's going to be a super long conversation. So that'll be extra content that you guys could look forward to this week. I know, Jay. I know, Jay. I didn't tell you, but I'm telling you now. It's been a crazy week, but the one new
a long conversation about that.
Yeah, because that's literally a whole 30-minute conversation there. But what I do want to talk about real quick is the McCrispy McDonald's gamer chair.
What the fuck is this? What?
So the McDonald's Crispy Gamer Chair, I'll show you a picture of it in a minute. Grease-proof leather and an integrated burger warmer feature in the McCrispy Ultimate Gaming Chair, created by the fast food chain McDonald's in the limited edition of
the McDonald's chair.
Yes. Designed for multitasking, the black and yellow chair comes with standard features. Yeah, let me
fry holder. It comes
has a fry holder, a nugget holder, and a cup holder.
Right after I get done talking shit about fucking Maynard, the most anti-everything guy ever, we're gonna start fucking fawning over a fucking McDonald's chair.
It looks comfortable though.
It
even has a place to hang a freaking hand towel so you can wipe your hands off.
Is it sure? Is it sure for the food? Are you sure it's for the food?
I call that it's a nut rag holder. Is what I would say.
I mean, you can always, instead of putting the fries in the fry holder, that could be where you keep your lotion now.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is the Fap Chair.
It's the McCrispy.
The McFapper.
Crispy after you're done fapping in it.
the McFapper. Yeah, but it's got it's got your traditional bumblebee black and yellow look to it. It looks comfortable as shit. Stainless leather.
It needs to be fucking stainless.
And
we've lost Jay.
The only thing that I don't. The only thing I
fucking Pucifer, and then I'm gonna fucking probably end up buying this chair to keep my burgers warm.
So it's a limited edition, and there's a contest.
So
it's not like you can't just go out and buy it.
Someone's gonna sell it.
That's bullshit. That's bullshit.
That is bullshit. Because I'm such a failure to my generation right now. Because I want to fucking sell out to that. It keeps your burgers warm. I want warm burgers when I game.
Look at it. It has a beer holder for Jay.
Yeah.
It's got everything. It's got everything you need. The only thing that is missing, and this is a big thing, is the little ottoman thing there. With little leg when you put your legs up.
Put your legs up? Yeah.
Yeah, it's not there. I don't want to buy a fucking extra ottoman. These chairs come built in now.
So Dylan Mason has a good point. The weight limit on this chair needs to be a lot higher than most gaming chairs, just because it's a fucking McDonald's gaming chair. This is the epitome of obesity in America right here.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. what's the fucking weight limit on it that you need, that it needs to go higher? What's the fucking weight limit? Like,
so most gaming chairs, if we're gonna say, if we say it's gonna be about what most gaming chairs weight limit is, it's between they typically max out at about 250 pounds. I'm a bigger dude, so I weigh 350 right now. And I have to special order fucking desk chairs because the hydraulic piston in them, if it's not rated for 350 pounds, I can use the chair, but the piston wears out super fast, and then it no longer raises and lowers.
Or if it collapses, you get like a fucking piston up your ass.
Or that.
It's kind of like cleaning a machine gun without knowing how to clean the machine gun.
But see, really, the weight rating is just in that hydraulic piston.
Right.
That's where the weight rating's for. So the rest of the materials for the chairs, every chair that's rated for bigger people.
I wonder why they don't just make them like that anyways. Like, our country's been fat as fuck for like 2 generations. Like, why aren't they already rated for like fucking 300 or 400 pounds? Like,
they're not reading either, Jay. They're not reading.
They're also not fucking reading. You fucking morons. I read books.
Jay.
You fucking idiots. Like, you're all fucking illiterate, dude, out there. Fuck.
The reason they're not rating them for fat people to begin with is because the manufacturers of these chairs are Taiwan, China, Japan, countries where people are typically smaller.
But if it's getting shipped here, what companies are okay?
It makes you wonder who's making why.
I'm about to go like on a severe like anti-corporate rant. So like if they're being fucking sold, if it's being sold here and you're allowing it to be sold in your store, whatever your store is, and it's not rated above like 200 pounds, you know, like I
totally get you. I'm just going with the supply chain answer for that is the suppliers of the product are companies based in those countries where obesity isn't as big of an issue.
Well, we're gonna fix that. We're gonna put a bunch of fucking McDonald's in their fucking country, dude. And we're gonna fucking fatten them up. All right, like that's what we're gonna do. That's the fucking.
We're
plan.
having this talk while he's eating bacon.
I mean,
I can eat.
He doesn't want to be. He wants to break the McCrispy. That's what I.
I'm not. I am not. I'm not. I can eat bacon because I can. Like I do enough. I do enough that I'm allowed a bacon day.
Man.
Well,
true.
Goddamn right. It's fucking sexy, man. Dude.
Yep. And guys, we're coming up to the end. Mike J, thank you so much for coming, man. Jay, thank you for bringing him back. You know, Joe, thank you for producing once again. I think we're starting to get a feel for this. I think now we're starting to get a feel for because the last time we had Mike J on, we had game show music from YouTube as our title music, and now a lot has changed, and a lot of things have happened with you between that time. Congratulations on 25 years for a smaller video game company. You know, that's incredible. You know, Fallout just did 25 years. Another game is celebrating 30 right now, and to hear that Postal has gone 25 years and still has the following that you guys do, it's fucking cool. Congratulations on that. Where the fuck can we find you? Where the hell can we buy your games? Where can we listen to you?
Unfortunately, our most popular social media is our Twitter, which is a hellscape. But it is popular. We have,
my god!
It's probably not going to be in existence for very much longer too.
I know. But at RWS Studios,
are y'all paying the $8 a month to be able to have the blue check mark?
No. That's actually a true story. We were verified, and then we needed to change our handle because we were trying to unify handles, and you lose your check mark when you change your handle. And now I can't get re-verified again. I've tried multiple times, and I've been rejected almost instantly. They won't let me get my check.
He's trying really hard to fucking sink that ship, dude.
It's crazy the speed run he's going to lose $44 billion. I guess he really doesn't like people talking shit about him on Twitter. It's pretty nuts. But so Twitter, RWS Studios. Our TikTok is pretty popular. I'm not as active on there these days, but it got really popular really fast. Also RWS Studios. Our website's gopostal.com. We have a bunch of stupid games and products there we sell. If you're on Steam and you want to check out our products, just search for Postal on Steam. And coming soon to a PlayStation 4 and 5 near you will be Postal 4. And next year will be Brain Damaged. We'll be there as well. So, yeah, I mean, if you want to contact me, hit me up, MikeJ@gopostal.com. And, I'll answer all your stupid questions.
And again, thank you. You've actually been you've been active in our community a few times. I see you in there. It's cool. It's cool to have you as a friend of DD214 Gaming.
Thank you guys.
A childhood friend of Jay's. It's cool to have you. It's cool to hear so much more, man. And in saying that, guys, we have reached another 168 hours. Thank you so much for coming. You guys already know what the deal is. Every single week we promote it. We talk about it every single motherfucking week. National Suicide Hotline is 1-800-273-TALK. 1-800-273-8255. You could also dial *988. It's easier, faster access. Someone is here to talk to you today. We were just talking about earlier, Jason David Frank. It's possible that he possibly took his own life. Guys, you don't have to be that guy. Talk to somebody today. There's so many different avenues that you can take. If it's not your friends, if it's not your family, go to Google. They'll answer you. They're ready for you. They're here to listen to your story today.
Yeah, we just got a note from our producer that Jason David Frank, it's been confirmed by his daughter that he did in fact pass away. So
yeah, so guys, hug each other today, love each other. I'm coming up on the 1-year anniversary of my mother-in-law's passing. This is a trying time, especially with the holidays, guys. We're here for you. Be there for each other. We love you. Make your fucking bed. Brush your teeth. Mike J, thank you. You sons of bitches have a good fucking day.
You guys too. I'll see you in 168.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.